So today's topic, we jump into it, love and economics.
Love and economics.
All right, so they've been saying that marriage rates are dipping because of a shortage of financially stable men. Right? Let's just break it down for you ladies. You know, these were studies done, etc., etc. Especially how the economic, how the world is going right now based on education versus non-education, etc., etc. So they're saying basically that women's education is widening in terms of the men, right? Women around the world are getting a lot more educated than the men now. They're more advanced, etc. And because of that, there are problems, right? And most women would expect to be married to a man, kind of their educational level, and somebody who can bring something to the table. Right, so that's where the lapses. All right, they use a lot of data from around the world, etc. And researchers found that women's potential and hypothetical husbands would have to make an average of like 60% more than what the average man is making now. Right, and it's because they're saying men are really slipping in terms of what they can bring to the table versus, you know, that's how we were conditioned, women. And times have changed. We admit times have changed. They talk about the education gap. It is widening. They say, and they say women, because of the educational gap, because of the fact that, you know, women are now doing their own thing, it is, they're the most... the educated ones are the ones that probably going to have the hardest time to find men, and the ones that have no education at all, the ones that are like low income, low education, right? Versus, so the economics, they say love is still a big part of marriage, but economics play a big part of it.
Well, because the roles switch up now. Roles between men and women long time were different. You know, the man go out, he get the bread, the woman stay home, see about the children and the family. Now it switch up now, and women are more out there. They're getting high paying jobs. Roles switch up. So it's a kind of conflict right now where people don't really know their place now, boy. You understand? And now it's a kind of status quo too. Like if my man ain't working for this amount of money, I don't feel comfortable showing him off to my family and being with him because he's supposed to be making more money than me as a man. I find that nonsense.
In Trinidad and Tobago, I think we're all about status. Can we agree on that?
Of course, the whole of Trinidad is stars. Everybody.
It's all about the status in Trinidad. Who you know, who you're alignment with.
It's all about clout.
Circle.
They need some clout.
Yeah, right? And you're not happening. And that's basically it in the social media world too. Yeah. If I come to check you and you have like 100 people following you, you're really happening. You know what I mean? Versus a girl who have 30,000 followers.
Yeah.
So that's the girl I had to run down. I mean, so the whole thing about love and it's been skewed.
Very skewed.
It's been very, the whole perception of just falling for somebody now.
There is also now the millennials who are very strong in their conviction and believe that their way is the only way.
Yes.
Their way is the right way. They feel as though everything that's on the planet Earth was placed there for them and have no respect for how it was given or how it got there.
They say that's what's keeping back men too from wanting to get married, because they personally don't feel that they have a lot to bring to the table, and so it keeps pushing them back why they think they should get married or not. And to
is things that women were thought from early out. It's like they honestly believe there's this sense of privilege as well, that they believe that it should be a particular way, because if we have to speak about, as we say, equality and all of this, you should also mention the fact that I feel any woman right now, any young girl at the age of 25 should be aspiring to have her independence. And when I say independence, having your stuff as well, so you can
having that sense of freedom that you don't have to depend on a man.
Correct.
You know, I mean, times have definitely changed, but so all of that I think have changed, because they're women too telling you straight out, I don't want no marriage thing. they're educated, they bought their condo, they have their car, they
They're
have
living
great
good.
health benefits.
They have insurance.
They have insurance.
They didn't care
They're
for
good,
nothing.
Then
Good to
what?
go.
Then what?
right?
Then
And-
what?
But no, that's
That
they're
is always
very
my question. You know.
prepared.
Then what?
They're women who not prepared to be mothers.
Then what?
They've given that up, and their job is probably what giving them that kind of satisfaction.
Now people find satisfaction in all different places in the world. You
Making
have some women
money.
making money is the satisfaction.
Remember we
Getting
talked
that
about the
bag.
Henrys this morning. There
Get in
was
that bag, bruv.
certain people that making money, but it's never enough. So they're running down that money, and that finish line is their goal. That's what
The
they're
goalposts
about.
always moving, you know. Your first aspiration is, yo, I want to get a condo, I want to get this. Bam, when you get that, you want to get something else. Bam, when you want to get something else. What people fail to realize, especially when you're young, we all went through it. You think that you're going to be 20 forever, you know.
Oh yeah.
Is that morning you're going to wake up at 55 and be like, damn, I'm 55.
And you're lonely.
Right, let me play Haywire. She says this about the topic.
I leaving out of the door, but I stopped to hear the topic. So let me give a little 2 cents first now. You see, marriage and money worries is no mixture. You had to have money. You hear what I telling you, Joel? To keep a man or a woman. Because everybody out here up to ulterior motives. You hear what I'm saying? So you had to have money. Meaning you had to have a good job to keep somebody. Or else the door wire. Because some of them want to use you. And some of them want to get used by you. Or it's only gunman in your home.
Hey! Oh! Oh!
Women are hardwired to look for the highest value men they can find. As much as you as a man, you believe that everything is okay right now with the female that you are with now, it isn't. It all depends on your financial situation and what you can provide. I've heard women say they stuck with their man through hard times, thick and thin, but that man had a specific period of time to get his beep together before she leaves him.
Not only that too, there's some women who have that foresight. When you with a man and you realize that he has a particular gene, one of success and one of being not lazy, very ambitious, and you could tap into that gene and realize that you can also strengthen that strength. Women do that. There's some women who are wired, as they say, to go at a guy, see his potential and nurture that potential and end up on the good side of the wallet. You see it. And then there's some who see the potential but lazy. There's some women who are built to reap. When I say reap, they're not interested in the planting of the seed.
Seeds and watering it.
But they want to be
when it
there
starts
for the
to
picking
bloom,
of the crop.
yes, and the blooming.
And don't understand that the planting of the seed is not necessarily you going out there and working. Sometimes what a man needs is that motivation, that
Support.
that brusque of the ego.
Yeah, that support. That
You
support.
understanding exactly where he needs to be and when he needs to be there. Like going back to the same conversation we had earlier, is that sometimes you have to make uncomfortable decisions to live comfortably. And lots of women do not want to make that uncomfortable decision.
They say that a good partner brings out the best in you, man or woman. A good partner next to you brings out the best and makes you be the better person that all of us should be or aim to be. Right, so they push you, they encourage you, they're there for you in hard times, and it makes you a better person. All right, Janelle says, I bet to different terms of education. I'm well educated, have a good job, but my husband not educated, just secondary school knowledge, but he's a businessman. He's been making money probably 3 times more than I am. But money is important. But
The
the any
common
day
denominator, bro. That's what we say. The common denominator is cream.
Cha-ching!
I've been saying that for years, and everybody's like, everything we use money is not about everything for money. The common denominator is cream. We spoke about it. They're athletes who we know. We know for sure they're fully. But the cream divides them from the rest. Because at the end of the day, is that we spoke about boxer boy. Mayweather. Mayweather is
Not the
a
brightest boy.
the brightest in the shed. But he has the kind of money that could change somebody's mind. When you have that kind of cream, you
That
can
kind of cream, I
sit
could
in a
ignore
position-
some green verbs.
Of course.
Hey,
Of course. Women will ignore green verbs.
Baby, when we go, don't talk too much, right? Just smile up and think, right?
And you remember too, he could afford to hire good business management and people he could pay to help him
Nobody
make
can
the
get
right
to hear, no.
decisions.
But you can't get to
You can't just get him to talk. And about 1,000 business management people to talk to before him because his money could allow him to be in that position.
No
so
woman,
money is the common
no
denominator for
woman
somebody
can't
like
get
him.
to him. You give her money.
But you
That's
know-
why you're stupid, and
And
I am money. I'm money,
Can you
baby.
imagine?
money, baby.
We need to talk.
Okay,
no,
for what?
no, we don't need to talk.
I said the aim for the stars, so they reach to the down. Oh, oh. I said the aim for the stars, but they reach to the down. Oh, oh. The aim for the stars, and they get cattle down. Oh, no.
What is that? Yeah, but why you?
Yeah, but Jaiga, there's also the case where it have a woman that sees the potential in a man that probably hasn't been able to identify this potential in himself. And she says, well, okay, this is what you had to do, this is how you had to push, I will push with you. And he might make 2 steps forward and think, boy, I reach. And she's saying, no. In this case, a woman like me where I see in the world is big, it has so much more to go after. And he plateau. And when he plateau, he had to get left behind because you still climbing.
Yeah, that's
and
when he's settling.
yeah, I good there, you know, I good.
Cool.
Nah.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. I'm not disputing that as well. But the point I was making is that sometimes there are women who come into men's life and do what is needed, and it's perceived by the public perception that she did nothing. You know, like she just there, not knowing that she was the driving force. That was the catalyst to get him to be in the groove that he's. And there are women who do it flawlessly. That's my point. There's some women who know, but again, she will do it with a man knowing that he not going on plateau.
All right, so psychologists
She was
basically...
doing me shooting in the gym.
Psychologists say that is what women are bred to do, meaning that we are...
Not all.
I'm talking about growing up, right? We are almost trained to look
time.
for a man who could provide, be a good father. That's kind of how we are conditioned. Versus men who kind of go for the looks. They want somebody who could breed and make
Pretty
children
babies.
for them, and that's kind of what they look for. Because remember the other day, you weren't here, Jaiga, but we did a question, the
brains
brains or looks. And it was interesting that most men
many men
said,
want
I don't need the brains, just give me the
Somebody
looks,
looking good.
I go take care of everything, but you just look good and make me some pretty children.
But statistics have proven, and you can see history has shown, the couples that win, we're talking about from the beginning of time, the ones that actually come out on top. Look how the structure is. If it's the man that is super fabulous, the woman is that person we're talking about who carries that gene of understanding her man, knowing when to push forward and when to pull back. It's a science, you know, and not every woman have that skill. Watch it, like for instance, perfect example, Michelle on paper is 100 times brighter than Barack. But she knew her role.
No, she pulled back.
She pulled back.
She pulled back
And
when
she
to do
understood
the example.
timing.
Yeah.
And she knew exactly when to stroke that ego, when to say, hey,
Yeah.
get assertive, and look at where they ended up.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah,
The point is,
always our time to shine.
exactly.
know
You
that
have to
there's
know, but
some
some
women
women don't understand
would
when
be in
to pull
Michelle
back.
Because they're
circle.
being bred a different way now.
They don't know when.
There
Their
are
mothers
some women
breeding them,
that would
hey,
have been in Michelle's
take it no
circle
man, you know.
saying,
And want to be the star.
yes,
Man, you know.
You study, you have
They
your,
think for
you have
yourself,
your-
you know.
you have your degree, you're a lawyer,
Yeah.
What you doing being a housewife.
Exactly.
And
They don't.
it's-
Some women want to be in a position with a man, but they want to shine. It's like you can't be the star. In a case where, like for instance,
Everybody want to be a
Beyonce and
star.
Jay-Z is an anomaly. You can't say that because both of them do the same thing. There are some people who, like, there are some marriages and couples who far apart. For instance, LeBron and his wife. She supported him on his journey to be a superstar and understood her role, and he is a superstar. Understanding her role. She making money thing. She could jump on and say, I want to do a restaurant, I want to do this and thing, and mix up the whole thing. But she knew, listen, let me just sit down in my corner. And it's not about being, as they say, you know, some women submissive, and it's not about that. It's about
The
understanding.
new word now. The new word now for females is "I's not your slave."
Stupidness.
That's
It's not
what it
about
is
being
now.
a
I'm not
slave.
new word my grandmother used to say.
It's not about being a slave.
It's not your slave.
It's being used more now.
It's not just. It's not
And
about
they don't
being
want to
a
hear nothing
slave.
more being
It's
submissive
about
to your
being
husband or your man. or
right.
Keep
anything.
saying.
It's about being smart. It's about articulating your
Yeah,
wants
but
in the
not
Yeah,
only
even
relationship.
that.
Jack Max for a glass of water home now, and I just slave.
You see when...
So let you keep your personal thing off the radio. now.
What's up with this guy?
If you can't get up and go and get
I
yourself.
am blasted slave.
All right, brother. Okay, brother.
I always say this,
Water
guys.
wanted boy.
I didn't tell it to pies. It's just water.
when you're on the wee road, right? We talk about it all the time. When you're on the wee road, the boat are all you're on the wee road, and all you're telling all yourself, we're in this together and we're going down. Life gets a lot simpler, you know. I think we get very selfish in relationships. You know, it's I and I and I and this and this.
It's the
But
competition.
it's about
Competition-
really being on the
competition
wee
plays
road.
a huge
and
part.
if all you're on the wee road together and all you have no distractions, meaning you're telling yourself, yeah, we're on the wee road, but every Friday I know I could check shit. Whatever. I'm talking about really committed to each other. The work is be easy, you know, because all you want the same things and communication, everything there, because you're never about I. And that's the difference why marriage is not lasting now versus really understand what you said, Jaiga, about really understanding the process and we doing this together.
And understanding the role, you have to understand.
your
If a young
role and
couple get
etc.
together, there are couples who live their life off the radar. When I say off the radar, let me explain. Man, woman, get together, have a family. Nah, this other way, that's how we going. Yeah, we go. Man, woman, get together, have a family, make kids, live off the radar. To the basic. When I mean, it's not about anything splashy. Splashy, talking simple living. Where, let's say, for instance, let me give you a perfect example. Boy meets girl, girl is a hairdresser, went from working for someone to opening and taking that leap, say, honey, how about I want to open a school? I want to teach people what I know. Husband decided, okay, I'm going to support that fully. And together supported that because that was an avenue for income and supported, pulled himself back a little bit from doing what he had to do and supported her in that journey because, you know, at the end of the day, it's a family kind of thing now where the children are in the shop, everything that's working cohesively. You have to know your role. Sometimes it get to that point where man start a little business, start to do a thing. Then you want to come in, she go reach in the shop. What is this person doing here? You want to show ownership like I the boss, but you're distracting from the goal. The goal is for us to earn and have a good family. You want to now come in and disrupt everything. So now workers start to go, I can't take the boss wife now. You see she? Me want to pass she, and then they start to lose workers because she energy off.
That's a thief.
Energy
all right,
off.
guys. Morning, Ojo World. My husband and I together 20 years. I have his back, he has mine, but we put God in everything and we continue in hard times or good times. Yeah. That's me. Joanne. We support one another in married vows. Yeah. I mean, and not only that, there's a maturity to it. You see, when you're immature and you're about self and so on, you're jumping into it. Have young people is currently Nikki, thinking, no, you're not ready. You're not ready. But I love how little to do with a successful marriage, you know. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we're very selfish still when we're young. We're immature. It's about me and I. And not knowing that when you're really committed to somebody, at times, as you had to pull back, sometimes you lead, I follow, vice versa, because the world change. It's not just about man leading and woman following again. I on your side there, Brad, and we're going down the road together. At times you need a little pickup, I pick you up. Sometimes I need it. It had to be together, but I think that's the problem again. Too many relationships, too selfish. Is always a competition, no compromise, and lack of submission from females these days. Well, you see, when you start to talk about them,
men are little,
they just get a little touchy.
Because they don't like the term of the word. People use it. People hear submission and feel it's a shut up and listen to me. That is not what submission is. It's about pulling back and understanding that listen. And men have to do it as well. There's some men who do it. I know men who end up with women. Women have like a little boutique. Boutiques start to grow. It started to turn into a chain of boutiques, and he had to fill his role. Brother, start to drive the van. Start to go and pick up goods. Because you're realizing, brother, this is the breadwinner here. Start to support the thing instead of fight it.
But this word submission, I think we have to do a whole topic on it. I as an independent woman, you know, getting married, and so, you know, when you hear the word submission, like, hey, hold up, what you mean submission, you know? It ties into vows too, but at the end of the day, they always say that there is one head of the household. For the thing to work, it must always have like a head of the household. So they say. So in other words, you have to pull back sometimes and let the head rule.
Again, it's like there are women, Nicole, who earn more than the man, but allow the man to be the head of the household. It is a unique skill. It's something that takes maturity. It's something that takes understanding. And a lot of these people here, sorry to say, it's in the introduction of Instagram and all of these, illusions out there
I's my
and
own
distractions.
woman, I's my own
It
man,
makes
yeah.
it takes away and give people a false sense of who they should be in their relationship, because you're trying to live for you, you're trying to live for your friend on the gram, you're trying to live for who you're working with, you're trying to live for a million other people other than who you are with.
No, and it makes it has problems, because I remember I talking about my marriage when I came in, your customer been independent for so long doing my thing, and all of a sudden I need to pull back. No, and I did it. It kind of happened naturally. Jerry's the head of the household.
And
you know what I mean?
and you do all the work on you. If you understand what I mean, Jerry understands.
But he's not my boss. What you know what I mean? It's just
Jack
like,
up those.
You jack you up?
No, and again, I
You
see
get
a girl
jack
jack.
up?
I see a girl small jack already.
You get jack up already?
Yeah, she got small jack.
Time
to go.
Yeah, jack up.
Yeah.
Nikki just want to
He's
play. She
gonna
drinking
have
long.
more than
Jerry
two.
ready to go. She
Yeah,
got one man up. Hey, and what she see when he
Yeah.
fling it? You see when he take the left dread and do it so?
Yeah.
All you have to go and go on.
Yeah.
That's how it does.
And that's the kind of man Lily needs.
I think the
A man who is head of the house and taking
Who can
charge.
flick the dread.
the relationship in the market too now, a lot of men very timid. They're very timid.
Because we don't have much
That's
men out
Because
there, bro.
you have so many ladies who
It's
step up and they
enticing,
have the
They
education.
don't have
and
much
they are
men.
They are
The problem is they
are
don't have much
the
men.
ish together. They are the ish
Brother,
together.
don't have no men out there. It's our
Watch now.
boys.
Men just going and timid, you know.
Brother, it's our
Afraid
boys
to
driving
talk to woman, you
Serato.
know.
It's not no men. It's our boys driving Serato.
I never understand
Yeah,
that.
that
It's not
boy
no
is
man
a
out
man.
there.
Yeah.
Our boys driving cars. It's not a man.
Me never understand them.
Men don't even know how to go and
I
sit
can
down and
talk
have
to
a...
I can talk to any woman.
Yeah.
Men
No
don't
matter
even
the
know
race,
nowadays how to
no
go and
matter
sit
how
down
educated.
and talk to a girl's father. Have an articulate
Father?
conversation. They didn't know what that is. They didn't know what that is. How to sit down and reason
Nah, boy, she a lawyer,
with big
boy.
man in the gallery and
boy.
cross a foot
Nah, boy, I don't
and have a
I don't
convo.
have a chance, boy. She a lawyer, boy. Nah, boy. You see what she driving, dog?
Any notes? Anybody saying anything?
Yeah.
Jump in at some of them they quick.
Blessed morning breakfast party. Jaiga, Nikki, whoever, man, you all hit a serious subject this morning here, man. And at the end of the day, it's all about money, man. I'm married for love. When I went to the therapist, he looking at me like, it has nothing to do with love, it's about financial.
Imagine the therapist tell him that. His therapist tell him, you come here for love, brother. It's about money, bruv.
Wow.
Imagine you go by a therapist and a therapist tell you that.
Therapist and lion.
And you're our up payment.
And you're up, you have to pay me. I tell you, you waste your time to love you, love she. Cream.
Breakfast party morning. Most people today going in relationships for the wrong reason. You understand? Instead of going in for love or to build with the person, you and the person building together, they're going in for money. And then when that money is no more, the relationship is no more. That ain't making no sense. Yes, I agree with you why everybody have ulterior motive, but it's what motive they're going in for. I personally find a woman who it is literally could build me. You understand? I'm not that I can build myself, but she building alongside with me. We building together.
Again, it's something that is a gene, is a chemical imbalance in a human being, both male and female have it, where if a woman has it and it's coincide with a man and the energies align, it will be flawless, bro. If the energies don't align, it can't work.
How Lily's still single because she has all the ingredients that a man is looking for.
She hasn't met the
And
man
more.
yet.
And more.
Because here why? A man looking at Lily saying she has everything I want, but he not willing to step up and give her the thing she need. So that's the problem right there. It can't be one-sided. You can't see a girl and say, nah, boy, she's the one for me, boy. She's doing everything for me, boy. Then you get so complacent and you're lazy.
Yeah.
You don't want to give
That's
her
what
the
she was
things that
talking
she
about.
need.
You get lazy and
Come on,
you
bruv.
settle and she will pass you. Boom.
Come on, bruv. To work.
My question is, why is it that women have to step back in order for the man to step up? I've been in that position before and I stepped back for my significant other to step up because they were always comparing my success to his own. I've regretted it because when the relationship dissolved, then I had to make those strides and catch up to where I should have been. Do I need to tell you about
No, she misunderstood it.
Yeah. We just talking about you're in the relationship. At times you need to step back as a woman and let your man lead.
Yeah,
That's
not
what
step
we're
back
talking
and
about.
just step all the way back and leave him. Nah. You have it wrong, honey. It's not step back and leave him. And it goes vice versa. There are men, I know men who get in relationships with women. The woman was the visionary and the man supported her vision. And you then find your space inside of there.
Exactly.
And they both are all
Again,
living
both
good.
all you're on the wee road. If all you're on the wee road and you have the same goals and etc. and you're all working as a
Exactly.
partnership,
That's what
the
it
thing
is.
will move forward.
You can't want to come and just infringe on somebody's energy and bring your heaviness state, and then when the whole thing fall apart, you have all the complaints in the world.
Ojo, many of us don't know what it is to sacrifice. Aqua.
What it do, what it does, what it do, what it does.
Aqua, you don't get to know what?
Jaiga, Nikki, Raw, Rudy.
But them away, you know, Nikki.
That's a good morning.
Them already high, you know.
What it for?
Yeah. Aqua, we ready to wrap up. That will be for Kelly.
Bro.
Rudy, people don't value relationships anymore, boy. We getting that woman, boy. What pala, what grocery, what Black Friday sale, we're getting that right now.
Don't do it that.
We ain't gonna get them in our Black Friday sale.
Yeah, when I say submission is a big, broad word. No, the young females nowadays take submission as, alright, I just giving him control of everything. As a muppet now, as a puppet.
His background too noisy.
Yeah.
His background too noisy.
Where
are you? That you song is so noisy.
His background too noisy. That's
our group.
That's our group. How we in a group there, boy?
Delete that.
Morning, Ojo. I had to get my thoughts together. A lot of us don't understand, both male and female. God has given man the authority to be the head of the home. And it is that way, whether we like it or not. You look at sometimes a child or children being disruptive in a home. And sometimes once the man walks into that room and just gives a look, the mother could be quarreling head to toe. Once that man uses that authority, the children understand that. It's understood. But sometimes even men don't get it because they leave the woman to try to run the house, to be responsible for everything, and everything goes awry. When we, as people, both male and female, understand our roles, things go better. But when we try to usurp and change, that's when things go awry.
As always mentioned in the beginning,
it's about understanding your roles.
We know, Aqua. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we understand. And big up Pooh Bear.
Oh, wow.
Barrioid.
Oh, wow. Come, you're not big enough no Pooh Bears right now, guys.
What about when you see the potential, help him reach his potential, and he leave you for a younger version? Yeah, I'm better.
Okay,
yeah.
That happens.
That happens a lot.
And listen, we're not taking that away from anybody. We know things like that happen. But if you want to live your life with always carrying that burden of, if this happen, you will, the journey will pass you by. You won't see the flow. You will just reach to the end and be sour. You have to enjoy the moment, because it has some people now, they had a bad experience, so they're going into everything saying, I mean doing this shit in case, or I'm doing that shit in case. And when you do that,
that's we go into cycle just continues.
Cycle continues. You have to sometimes just chop your hand and be like, yo, let me just take it, trust and believe that it will work out.
Morning, Claudette, out in Grenada. She said, listen to me. I'm single and I'm willing to help nurture and nurture that ability within a man, and willing to get down in the trenches with him to help build an empire as long as he is ambitious. Period.
Mr. Claudette.
You know, Claudette?
What you want to see Claudette for?
Morning, Claudette. Just
brother, what you
Claudette
trying to do?
Wendy's sister. I Wendy.
I don't understand Rudy's anxiousness to see Claudette after the statement.
You know, I love her assertiveness. Where's that? Wait,
Bro, give me whole number live.
Live.
Get Claudette the number. 485. Want her to give out numbers?
So Alicia says it have women who are strong and are willing to uplift the man, and he just have no ambition.
It has
so
that as well.
Some women prefer to stay single and be assertive, make their money, and just live. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Listen, I am not, and especially now.
But that's what led into this whole discussion this morning. They're saying that many women like her are saying, here what? You ain't really matching up to me, so I by myself. Right. So that's why marriage is...
And statistics are showing that there's an education barrier or gap,
widening of
the gap, where a lot of women now are seeking education and doing their thing and smarting themselves, and fellas are just very complete. Like again,
all
there's a sin. At the end of the day, like I make jokes about little things, like, like make it fun, like a woman will pull up to like a gas station and the attendant might smile at her and give her a little wave, and in that moment she might see him and go, you can't cute boy, but automatically after driving off she would then put reality over that glimpse of emotion that listen,
not
how
saying,
could I then go
not saying that relationship couldn't
but the probability of it happening is 1,000,000 to 1.
Across the border, that
it's 1,000,000 to 1.
He pumping gas, that could never work.
I'm 34 years old, divorced, and been in 2 other bad relationships after my ex-husband, and none of them none in big capital letters, have added to my life, even when I heavily invested in them financially, emotionally, and everything that I can give. Now I have finally met someone who supports me just as much as I support him in all aspects. He's helping me accomplish things I thought impossible. I'm ready to stop being a leader, as this one is more than qualified to be the leader in this relationship. It's about understanding our strengths and potential and letting that play with all situations faced together. Preach, my sister.
Preach, honey. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, but you see, I think with the whole woman movement, we are taught as women, these new age women now, you know, you had to go out there, get your stuff. But as somebody had said earlier, that, you know, according to the Bible, the men are the leader of the households, and we're supposed to give men that encouragement to do that. The flip side of that, many men not stepping up to that. Many men not stepping up as the head of the household and running things like a man should. And you always say that's the difference between boys and men.
Yeah, like again, it's about being a man is a whole total different ball game. And all I'm saying is that some of these women need to understand. Wait, you see that term role? When they hear it, they get offended one time. If you know my role, it's not even about talking down. It's just understanding that balance.
I know how to do that.
Understanding that balance.
Nice. I'm going to hear Lily. She's probably answering.
I pick up on a certain tone in a particular voice note just now that upset me a little bit. No woman wants to have to do two roles. No woman. Women step up and function in both capacities because nobody else is doing it, and it must be done. It is not that a woman don't know her place so a man can get a chance to be a man. No. Nobody was there to do it, and it needed to be done, so she got it done. When a man comes into the scenario now, after a woman has gotten accustomed to having to do both roles, unless he could not only say that he'll do it, but step up and show that he'll do it, he's not going to fit in. And it is not her fault either. He has to step up all the way up and demonstrate, I am a man, and this is what it means to be a man. Don't let no woman have to show you that.
Yeah. And, you know, I always talk about this a bigger picture. You know, we have those same men growing up without fathers, many of them. So who really showing them how to be a man and what you need to do as a man? Because many of them being raised by women, right? The aunties, the grannies, the teachers, every woman.
And women have to understand self-taught men take a little longer when you learn it on Google.
Yeah.
And some men Googling how to be man, and watching a tutorial on YouTube. It's take a little longer for them. So you have to be with them.
All right. My boy Aqua says, I'm 34, single, no kids, never married, no girl was engaged, and not tolerating no woman worries. However, I have discovered my worth and where I ought to be and can bring it to the table.
It's a mouthful, boy.
I could deal with a little single Ojo woman now.
Wow. It's a mouthful there, boy, Aqua, boy.
All right, let's, we getting ready to wrap up, guys.
Hey, well, they're making real good. Wait, let me pull up. Morning, Nikki, morning, Jaiga, Rudy, Raw, Pro, Kino, whoever, the whole breakfast party panel, big up on yourself. Yo, they're making that lady that just made the statements about, you know, God putting man, you know, dominance, boy. Perfect. Nikki making a lot of great points. Jaiga, I think last week or sometime you made a statement in passing. You really need to do a video log of like what it is to be a man. You see people like yourself, Rudy, and like Tommy Schmurder, for example. You see that example, you guys are always with your kids, always spending time doing homework, like creating memories with your kids. We need to see more of that image on the forefront. We need more of that. Like we need to push that image more than these Zessa boys and them. Oh God, we see these Zessa boy thing. We need more of that image, yo. So
I like that.
If you man have time to shoot video when you're curling, I tell you 2 plus. Oh God, girl. How much time? I tell you, if you man have time to tape when you're frustrated trying to fix a sum, you feel have time to pull out.
Rub it off. Rub it off.
Erase. I say rub it off.
Ray, how much times you are not listening?
I saw you just face a 5. That is not how the 5 is. Rub it off.
Them don't know. Them feel like easy, boy. That's an easy,
not an easy road.
I commend teachers, boy. You see that everything
One
over and over.
here, man fall short.
That's tough.
I be playing catch-ups. And women way ahead, boy.
For real?
Wow. That's the reality.
Wow. He dry, eh?
Wow. That's the driest person I know.
See, we had to catch up. Wow. That's the reality. No lie.
Rudy, Jaiga, Nikki, morning.
Morning.
You see Claudette? I'm in love with Claudette already.
Hey!
Claudette know about sacrifice.
Hey.
And plenty of these women outside here now don't know about sacrifice. They just want everything one time. They want to sacrifice and help build their empire. So, Claudette, just say the word.
Say the word, Claudette.
Everybody
Come
No,
on,
no, no,
let's
Joe.
go.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it,
Jaiga, that is true talk. Right now I have a ball patch because of them sums and things, trying to sort out them kind of thing with my son. True talk where you see riding 5 back to front and then your face in the opposite direction and it's like,
And
no
they
matter
watching
how
in your
much time you
face,
tell
eh?
them,
Watch me.
they
When
still
they
doing
do
it.
it.
Son, you're mad.
It's not easy
Well,
being a parent, guys,
Well,
but
they
you
will
have
write
to
a
put in
tree,
the work.
the wrong side, right? Face it
Yeah.
the wrong way and then watch it in your face.
Yeah.
So really that. That's
No,
how you
but hold
write a
on.
tree?
No, hold on. It's when you're telling them.
Daddy.
You had to make
So
up
then
your.
why you doing that? Rub it off.
Watch me. You had to make up your
Rub
whole
it
thing.
off.
Hashtag rub it off.
Watch me. You go so straight, down straight. No, make a belly.
Yeah.
You gotta be creating ways to get it done, you know.
Yeah, good morning to the panel. I don't know. I like this topic. I like this topic a lot. But Jaiga, you hitting it on the head. You see role playing, plenty of people don't understand. But role playing is to me is the biggest part in a relationship to be successful. You understand? Because plenty of women don't know. You understand? That men, real men, we don't really watch a woman for what they really have or anything. That is more like a female trait, you know. Women more like the nice shiny things and them things, and that does attract them. But to we don't really like that. Real men, we don't really like that. We don't watch a woman for what she has. You understand? But if we find a woman that has, that is just a bonus. Plenty of women don't understand that. Come like if she say, babe, I want this dress. I see this dress for $1,500, and you'll be like, wait, all right, babes, 1,500. All right, well, I can't really make the full 15 now, but hold 1,000 now, and she could put the 5 for herself. That's a bonus because she could handle herself. But you as a man will still provide or show she that, hey, I was still willing to put out, although I know that you could handle it for yourself, I still want to do for you now. You understand? So a woman had to understand these things too. Role playing is very
important.
I like that. Okay, guys.
It's like this,
We need
right?
to wrap
It's
up.
like what I used to say long time, all the time. When you talking about that, it's just that understanding, you know. A woman, when women come together and talk about, hey, Sandra, boy, you see, I'm going out with Jason now, you know. It's like, Jason, you like, we working?
Yeah.
We just do. It's an automatic
But
question.
that, again, it goes back to how we've been conditioned.
When fellas in a barber shop, we don't care about that, you know.
Yeah,
It's like,
because you're looking for the best
just
girl
Tasha,
to go and meet.
Jeez,
Shabba.
honey, she never used to look so long time, you know, but my
Yeah,
gosh.
put together, my brother. Up to now, we don't care.
All of that would be a bonus.
That could be home on a couch for 10 years, never working. We don't care. We
You
don't
know,
care.
it's like the late Miles Monroe always said, men don't really need love, you know. Men more, they prefer respect, right? Respect, man. Women, on the other hand, need love. They need a lot of love. You need to know to be affectionate.
And that's
with
I see that way you know here there?
Yeah.
That is the problem. This all of a sudden women have zero respect for men.
Correct.
And you see it all over. You see from the time they could tweet, man is trash.
That is why it's
man is this, man is that. They automatically come into a relationship with no respect for the man. They come in there, they're saying he's a you come in a relationship, or you start something on a can't start nothing. So once it gets there, it's lack of respect. And then a man now instinct is to push back. So you might say something off, or your reaction to her lack of respect.
Where's the love?
Will come as a disrespect to her and it's back on her immediately.
You see
And
the
it all
tone
fall apart.
in which I'm hearing women talking these days? I ain't gonna lie. Some men give them that right, you know. And that's the problem.
We were talking about that, you know, some men just not stop. Let me hear my boy Kevin before we leave. Guys, we into midday.
Morning, everybody. I just always say it when this topic come up. These kind of topics come up. Ego. Take the ego out of this thing. Identify a man and a man. Identify the man and the male that when you meet during the dating process, so you can not to move forward. And identify the woman and the female and move forward, and then take ego out tight and only just playing always a team that playing a doubles game. Always a team. If I move up front and catch, and I miss you behind to catch, and so it keep going, Once you take ego out tight and it and I in charge, where you fall short, and it's just a team thing.
And
But
as they always
if
say, they have no I in team. And then we finish it off with my girl just saying, men are dogs. All right.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? The
Now,
same thing I'm now talking about.
Darling, you need to rephrase
Men
what
are
you're
dogs.
saying. The men that you meet
Are dogs.
and you had encounters
Because
with
there's some good
are
brothers
dogs.
out there.
And
you
is
know,
your
real good brothers
interpretation
out
of
there.
that
And then you have two type of dog. It's a real loyal dog out there, you know.
But I tired saying
Skinny
men
hair and
cannot
back.
be dogs.
You understand?
Dogs are